What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and how would you feel about a fourth federal level stimulus check to everybody in the nation of $1,000? Well, take a look, you guys. Stimulus check update. Representative urges $1,000 for every American over Ukrainian aid. So this is your stimulus check update, and what they're saying is the $40 billion that was supposed to go out to Ukraine. I just shared it with you last week. It was blocked by Senator Ron Paul, and they're saying instead it would be better if we took the money and we gave it to the American people, and now one person is proposing that we do just that. Now, I'm going to get you all the details in this article of what they're saying, how much it would cost if this came to fruition, and we're hearing that this week is likely going to be a big week for this. As take a look, you guys. A bill that would set gas price limits and prevent exploitative cost hikes is heading to the House for a vote, and that's going to be happening this week. I've got video footage from Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, who had just announced this. They are making efforts right now to combat these gas prices, and one of the suggestions is having these stimulus checks. Now, also, if you missed my last video, you might want to check it out, as we're hearing that there is a shortage, there is a run on baby formula, and there are also proposals coming out for baby formula stimulus checks. That's right, we've had gas stimulus checks, now baby formula stimulus checks. People are wondering about federal stimulus checks, and we're having state, county, and city stimulus checks going out to people as well. There is a lot of stuff happening. I'll keep you up to date here on the channel with everything going on. So let's go ahead and dive right in, get you caught up on the latest with $1,000 stimulus checks, and let me know your thoughts. Do you think that would be good? Do you think that that is enough to help people out? Or do you think that the cost of these stimulus checks is too much? We need to stop because it's just going to add more so to debt and inflation. Let me know your thoughts, you guys, but let's dive right in. But before we do, also wanted to mention, check out my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. More content coming on there if you're interested in learning about growing wealth through real estate, stocks, cryptocurrencies, starting businesses. More content. I hope it's a blessing for you. I'll pin a link down below. You can click it, go subscribe, turn on notifications, and I hope that that's a blessing to you, you guys. But let's go ahead and dive right in. And before we do, don't forget, just take a quick second. Smash that like button for me. Helps out the channel a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments. Share this out. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, totally free, come join the Ram fam. Why not? Smash that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell. I'll keep you up to speed on everything going on. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so this week is going to be a busy week in Congress for stimulus checks and reducing gas prices. As take a look at these headlines, guys. A bill that would set the gas price limits and prevent exploitative cost hikes is heading to the House for a vote. Nancy Pelosi announced that a bill would crack down on exploitative gas prices, trying to help out with those companies. We're hearing that as oil is dropping, the gas prices are staying up there and they are bringing in record profits, just taking advantage of the situation. The bill is going to be heading to the House for a vote, but it is unlikely to garner enough necessary support from Republicans. And Pelosi and other Democrats said oil companies are taking advantage of an international crisis. Now, I'm going to share with you the video footage here in just a second. Take a look at this article. Congress will vote next week on a bill that would prohibit excessive gas prices. The legislation would enable President Joe Biden to issue an emergency energy declaration, making it illegal to increase gas and home energy prices in an exploitative manner. The bill, titled the Consumer Fuel Price Gouging Act, would give the Federal Trade Commission the authority to crack down on oil companies with over $500 million in annual consumer fuel sales. In a press conference announcement, which we're going to take a look at, the legislation on Thursday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said price gouging needs to stop. While families are struggling to pay higher prices at the pump, oil and gas companies are recording record profits. This is a major exploitation of consumers because this is a product that consumers must have, she said. Now, let's take a look at it so you can see it for yourself.
Next week on the floor of the House, we will have another piece of our lowering costs for the American people legislation. First, House Democrats led by Congresswoman Schreier and Congresswoman Porter introduced the Consumer Fuel Price Gouging Prevention Act. While families are struggling to pay higher prices at the pump, oil and gas companies are recording record profits, with 7 largest oil companies announcing buybacks that could total $41 billion this year alone. Again and again, we see gas prices rise, sometimes when the cost of oil drops, oil prices drop, and price gouging needs to be stopped. This is a major exploitation of the consumer because this is a product the consumer must have. Again, the Putin tax hike at the pump is a part of this, and you would think that the oil companies would compensate for that rather than exploit the opportunity that it. So, and this bill, what this bill does, price gouging needs to be addressed, including new tools at the FTC to address those abuses. Our bill enables the president to issue an energy emergency declaration, making it unlawful to increase gas and home energy prices in an exploitative and excessive way, which is part of the business plan of these companies. Right now, as we gather here, the Competes Act is having, the conference committee is having its first meeting. I think it's on station 83, channel 83 for anyone who has channel 83.
So there you have it, you guys, and that's legislation coming out this week to help with the price gouging of these oil companies. Now, I will keep you up to date as more information rolls out on that in the coming days, but we're also hearing about requests for $1,000 stimulus checks in place of the $40 billion aid that's supposed to go to Ukraine. Take a look, you guys. Link in the description below. Stimulus check update. Representative urges $1,000 for every American over Ukrainian aid. Republican Representative Jim Banks, a Republican, has suggested that it would be better to give each American $1,000 rather than providing Ukraine with the new aid package due to be passed in the Senate. Now, Banks, who represents Indiana's 3rd Congressional District, told Fox News on Friday that the near $40 billion in aid that has been approved by the House of Representatives could be used to give Americans $1,000 checks. Let me know your thoughts, you guys. However, the cost of giving each American $1,000 would be significantly higher than $40 billion. The population is currently more than 332.6 million, according to the U.S. Census population clock. That would mean that the cost of that would be more than 332.6 billion. So we have roughly a little over a tenth of what would be needed to send out $1,000 checks. Banks said that's $1,000 for every single American. That is the equivalent of $40 billion. So not quite. And with what's going on in America right now, I'd rather be helping Americans get back on their feet than sending the money abroad with no strings attached to foreign countries, the congressman said. Now, if the $40 billion aid package for Ukraine were divided up among all Americans, each person would actually receive around $120. So, like we mentioned, a little bit more than 1/10 of what's actually needed to send out $1,000 stimulus checks. Now, the IRS reported in its progress update for fiscal year 2021 that it had paid out more than $800 billion to Americans across the 3 stimulus checks in 2020 and 2021. And as you recall, there was one for $1,200, one for $600, and the last one was for $1,400, and that one was roughly $400 billion to send out those $1,400 checks. That dwarfs the amount of aid that the U.S. has provided to Ukraine. In March, Congress had provided $13.6 billion, while the current $39.8 billion package has not yet been passed in the Senate. Banks voted against the latest aid package on Tuesday, joining the 56 Republican colleagues of his who opposed the measure. He told Fox News on Friday that it was not an easy vote for me to make. There has been significant speculation about a 4th federal level stimulus check as individual states are now continuing to provide their own stimulus payments and other measures such as tax rebates. And I keep you up to date on all of those here on the channel. And as we see any progress on more state, county, or city checks or a federal level check, I'll be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel. So there you have it, and that is the latest. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you've made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget to take a quick second, smash the like button. Helps me out a ton. I appreciate it. I'll keep you up to speed on everything going on. And if you'd like to stay up to date, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. If you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3 and consider joining that second channel, Steve Ram Finance. And as always, you guys, thank you so much once again for joining me. I'll keep you up to date as the information rolls out. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.